Yeah, another question which has come from a group of entrepreneurs who are in excipients, and this question can be taken by any of the panelists present here. So we have talked of intermediates, we have talked of APIs. When it comes to excipients, again there a lot of imports are happening there, and the key excipients, the value adding excipients, probably we need to do much more as an industry as a whole. So what is the view in terms of importance of excipients or any related aspects, if you can cover?
Mahavir can I add something to
Please, please,
Godaji, what you were saying earlier,
please,
comments
please.
before?
Yeah, please.
So one of the points which Godaji said is the information base of KPIs available in the country. In fact, we have been trying to work on it, but it's so difficult. HSN code, which are the products what we are importing, what is the requirement, what are the pricing. There is no adequate database which is available. So what we have done one study with PwC, 53 molecules we studied. Rest of them we can buy. There are some sources which are available. 22, there is a heavy dependence on China. We have done only of 53, but there will be many of that kind, which Kodaji keeps on talking. So we have to, and maybe Uday Bhaskarji is here, and Amit is also here, and Dinesh is here, and Jotin. We have to prepare which are the KPIs, what needs to be done, and then prepare a platform for many of the entrepreneurs who can get in there. And another point which Godaji raised, very, very fundamental. He keeps on saying that focus is very important, scale is very important, and differentiation is very
Sugar
important.
free नहीं है.
It's so important. All of us, if we take home that message of scale, focus, that's fundamental for all of us in the industry. I will stop it here. Thanks once again, Godaji. Thank you.
Sure. So Dineshji, your views on excipients?
Yeah, sure. You see, excipients, before I get on to excipients, Mahavir,
Yeah.
I will totally support what Sudarshanji said just now, that, getting the database, as Godaji rightly pointed out, for the intermediates and APIs is very critical. And we do have Uday, as you know very well, you're a part of it, inherent part of it, the BDMA, which is based in Hyderabad. BDMA has at least about 200 plus members, if not more, who maintain this data on API to an extent, but intermediates. So maybe we'll create a fabric from where they stand to where Sudarshan has done this kind of exercise and take it forwards. Now, let me come to excipients. Excipients is something where, we were alive to the situation and we triggered DOP. Vaghela ji was very keen, Renwa ji was very keen, the Joint Secretary. And we said PLI alone in APIs is not the answer. And Kodaji very distinctly pointed that out, right? It has to also extend to the excipients, which are 95% being imported. In fact, for the regulated markets, everything is being imported. And the price comparison is so humongous. 1 rupee ka thing is costing you at times 100 to 500 rupees in terms of excipients. I mean, we've experienced it. And therefore the cost goes up as far as the regulated market is concerned. In excipients, we hardly have any depth, both horizontally and vertically. Now that's an area where the government has promised us that they'll bring in PLI at a very small level. I'll give you an example of chemicals. Chemicals is also a line extension of intermediate. There are certain chemicals in my industry. We are the biggest in cephalosporins in the world in the API at 3,500 crores. And we export cephalosporin Godaji to China. We have 10 registrations in China because they can't compete with us. Outside of steriles, in oral molecules, they can't compete with us. That's a classical example. So taking that example forwards, the PLI for chemicals, smear, for example, mica ester, there's nobody making it in the world except China. So if somebody has to make it in India, you have to give a PLI for that. And in excipients, the PLI to be given has to be at a much lower level, as is the case in chemicals where they've not kept any strings attached. In our case, you identified that minimum investment should be of a particular order. Let's say KSM's 180 crores, fermentation, large fermentation. Then the smaller ones is about 50 odd crores. And the APIs is minimum 20 to 40 crores. Now that, I think, restrains the complete investment perspective. Another thing which is not acceptable, and we've told that to the government upfront, And I think within a couple of days that change will come. Godaji, supposing I invest 400 crores, sir, in penicillin G for 5,000 tons. For 10,000 tons, sir, I can do it in 200 crores. Now they're saying, you make it 800 crores. How can you do that, sir? No way. I'll have same utilities. I'll have economies of scale. I'll have a whole host of things. So we told that to the government very clearly, please stop that. And as a consequence to that, in chemicals, I'm very happy to inform you in the PLI, there are no strings attached. Similarly, for excipients, there should be no strings attached. Investment can be as low as 1 crore, maybe about 10 crores, 20 crores, 100 crores. But as you pointed out, excipients is something where India is absolutely vulnerable to the West, not to China to that extent, to the West, US, Europe in particular. And therefore, every bit of need that we should incentivize, motivate, and make sure that this industry concurrently, along with formulations, should come up. Otherwise, on one side, you are addressing APIs, you're not addressing intermediates, that should be done. On the other side, you're making formulation vulnerable because nothing can happen unless the excipients are there, right quality at the right price. So I'm very hopeful that the next round of incentivization will definitely be towards excipients as well.
So if we have to take up,
Godaji wants to say something.
Yes,
yeah, I want to just add here that we should keep two examples in mind. One is DCDA and intermediate, which is 100% being imported for the manufacturing of metformin. Now, Government of India is talking that incentive for the Indian consumption. That's around 8 to 10,000 tons only, as against what I believe the world requirement is around 1 lakh tons of metformin.
There you go, sir.
Now we are talking 8 to 10,000 tons for the country, and if you want to install the capacity of that size which China is producing for the whole world, I don't think there may be some offer. I don't know who will make the offer for that, and incentive is hardly 10-20% for a value product of less than $2, $1.5. How much 20% is going to add to have investment, a larger investment? Okay, again for India, it will become very costly. You will have to protect further.
Very true.
So, same thing, I will tell you that for our formulation, we are importing starch from America for the US products. Now, starch is a basic product which can be upgraded in our country, and there are 7, even the lactose we are importing, which are the just basic materials of what you call it excipients. So, I think in addition to the government I think we are lacking in terms of interest, basically the people who are making that interest, that how do they really come to the standard equal, not just chemistry. I think it is beyond chemistry, some technology is involved to be a right excipient for that formulation. So it is not just
Sorry, sir, we've reached out to the government to give such an incentive which can attract the multinationals to come to India and set up shops, sir.
Yes,
Sir, it has to be different from what you're doing in APIs and KSM, sir. It's got to be different.
Yes.
So they're listening to us now. The good part is now they're listening to us, and hopefully things will happen, sir.